the gossip's manager. As I wait for Beth and Tara to arrive from London Fashion Week, I rendezvous with some queer Parisian acquaintances who regard my posh hotel and my participation in Paris Fashion Week with a complicated horror. They have a queer punk activist hatred of capitalism. One boy feels like a freakish dirtbag in the lush environment of the West End, with its Versailles-inspired mirrored halls. We were all staying at the West End on Karl Lagerfeld's time. But the girls are femmes, and I watch them wallow between criticism of the madly consumerist culture of Fashion Week and a longing to sink into the unbridled excess of it. I understand, sisters. For a long time, I hated beauty for the way people used it as a measuring stick to beat people, especially women. But I came to believe in a vast idea of beauty, one that included me and all my beautiful weirdo friends. As for more conventional beauty, I didn't have to hate it just because people let it make them stupid. My attitude moved from the conceptual to the concrete. Take a beautiful dress. Say it's a Rodarte dress, made by these sort of creepy goth sisters who live with their parents in Pasadena. Their dresses look like they were messed up while someone wore them on a jaunt through the space-time continuum. They are torn tulle and stiff corsets and lots of lace and flowers and fluffy bullshit stuck all over the place. Parts make you wonder if these sisters, the Malivi sisters, even their name makes you think of the dark family landscape of a Joyce Carol Oates novel, if they're employing some sort of spider beast to do their weaving. The dresses cost upwards of $10,000 at Barney's. At one time in my psychological development, this would have made me hate the dresses, hate the designers, those poser Malivi sisters, hate anyone and everyone who could afford them, hate capitalism, hate the world, hate the universe, and whatever string of incomprehensible events led to the Big Bang. Now I think, when I go to Barney's to visit the dresses, the way I've gone to the SPCA to visit various animals I can't adopt, to just pet their glorious fabrics and marvel at the endless detailing and giggle at the whimsical appliques, I think, it isn't the dress's fault that it's so expensive. I love it like a living thing, and I visit it at this department store. I don't love a painting on a museum wall any less for my not being able to own it, do I? This is the relationship I have cultivated with this level of fashion. And all of this is to say that I understand the struggle my queer punk friends are having around me, a person they like, taking such joy in these symbols of everything bourgeois they are trying to smash by, well, I'm not sure exactly how they are trying to smash bourgeois culture, exactly, but certainly the first step is not supporting it, so no, they will not go to the Stella McCartney party with me later that week, but they do hope I have a good time. Yeah, I'm going to jump ahead to when we got to go to the Vivienne Westwood fashion show, which was fucking crazy. Okay. At the Vivienne Westwood show, I have my first experience of the paparazzi. They come charging, this is how big of a star Beth Devoe is over there. They come charging at us, a dense cloud of men in black, holding giant strobing machines to their faces, hollering in chaotic rounds, Beth, 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 here, 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 look, 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 here, 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 Beth, 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 Beth. This provokes in my body a panicky sensation of being attacked, and I instantly understand why Sean Penn and others haul off and punch these camera-wielding maniacs. It is a miracle more paparazzi don't get punched. How do celebrities live like this, hounded by a bunch of maddeningly loud, overbearing, downright scary men chasing you and yelling at you without losing their minds? Beth looks sort of scared. Maybe her response to the fear is to act super duper nice, because that's what she does. She acts really nice, really sweet, gives everyone a photo if she can. It is Tara's job to play bad cop to Beth's good cop, barking, no, and let's go, dragging Beth away by force when she needs to. Sorry, Beth yells kindly back at the wall of men. Believe me, Beth would not let me do any of that if it's not what she wanted, Tara says. You know her. She does exactly what she wants to. So Beth plays the acquiescent celebrity, regretfully waving goodbye while her hard-ass manager yanks her away. This works for smaller crowds, but the crew is intense at the Place Vendôme, outside Vivienne Westwood. With the aid of Frederic, the gentle stylist, he of the limpid blue eyes and smoothly shaved head and the witty designer scarves, we form a pod around Beth, and we smuggle her into the show. It reminds me of clustering around a woman and walking her through a gang of Christians protesting a women's health clinic. A similarity made more intense by the presence of anti-fur protesters holding full-color posters of skinned dead animals. Paparazzi and fur protesters are present at all the shows, but not as severely at Vivienne Westwood. The designer's new spokesmodel is Pamela Anderson, and she is scheduled to walk the runway. It's almost certainly her celebrity status that drew the extra cameras and her PETA activism that spurred the protesters. The room the show is to happen in looks either massively under construction or deeply deteriorating. It's hard to say which. For sure, it seems like pigeons are about to fly out from the chalky holes in the ceiling. Beth is seated in the front row, conducting a steady run of interviews. One journalist after another ambles up with a microphone or a camera or a recorder. She's wearing a vibrant red Westwood dress that fits her amazingly well. Her jagged black bob, quite short, looks great against her white skin and complements the dress's bold color. She looks rad per usual. Tara sits beside Beth while Frederique and I huddle behind them. Beth asks me to take a picture of her ass with my cell phone to make sure her butt crack isn't visible in photos. Eventually, the shows begin. There are a lot of what I peg as knits, but which Beth later suggests are crochets. Of course, this is high fashion. With their deliberate fuckhead hairdos and muscles and tangles, the models look like they've just rolled themselves up in giant balls of yarn and slunk onto the catwalk. Some models look like they are crying. I start tripping out on this. Are the models crying? People get so crazy when they don't eat food, and I'm sure these girls aren't eating well, but they're not, it turns out, crying. I think they just worked multiple shows and their eyes are irritated from so much eye makeup. Back to the clothes. The sweaters are complicated. There are these giant tall skirts with the backside blown straight up as if hit by a big gust of wind. Are those crocheted chaps? Amazing. There is Pamela Anderson. Again and again and again, all blonde hair and a giant California smile. I truly do not understand why she is the spokesmodel. She is a distraction from the clothes into the organic flow of the catwalk. It makes me think that perhaps Ms. Westwood, who is getting on in the years, has gone a bit daffy. We get to go backstage, which in this case is downstairs, a room that reveals the whole building to be a former bank by the presence of a giant steel vault in the center. Beth gets whisked away by some stylists, but not before detailing her 3 favorite things. 1, getting dressed every day. 2, Googling the word mystery. 3, dressing her friends. Tara is alarmed that Beth has vanished. The space feels like a grammar school cafeteria with fold-out tables holding stacks of plastic cups. Ducking behind a beam at the back of the room, I find a mousy lady with humble vibes. I make Vivian's hats, she says in a British tweet. This is Prudence, creator of Prudence Millinery. After the shows, I always hide from Andre. Andre is Andreas Krotthaler, Vivian's ruggedly handsome, much younger husband. We had an argument Saturday. Prudence continues, bearing her soul to me, even though I am a stranger who is writing down everything she says into a notebook. Heedless, on she goes. I just can't handle the stress. She dips her tiny face around the beam. Is he coming? Oh no. The hats were great, I console poor Prudence. Vivian said, make them look fucked. They did, I assure her. They did look fucked. They looked like someone ran them over with a horse-drawn cart and left them with a drunkard for mending. Oh good, she says earnestly, but her face still looks drawn and nervous. Tara pops her blizzard of hair around the bend. Did they go that way? She motions to the front of the room where Vivian Westwood stands, ringed by lights and cameras, regal in her long carroty hair and some sort of quilty-looking cape. Beth is there, waiting to meet the queen of punk. More than any single individual, Vivian Westwood has most influenced the way I look, starting back when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, all the way up to now. I follow Tara over to where Beth hovers on the outskirts of the media, breathlessly observing her idol. Her skin is so beautiful, Beth says, and it's true. Pale like she's never seen the sun, her age etched into it like a design. Eyebrows veer off the sides of her temples, drawn on. But it's really the time on her face that strikes you, and strikes you as beautiful. Aging is punk, I realize, and say it aloud. Aging is punk. Aging is punk, Beth agrees. So is cellulite. When it's Beth's turn to meet the dame, she engages her on the subject of Leonard Peltier, the American Indian movement activist accused of killing a couple of FBI agents in the 70s. He has been imprisoned ever since. Vivian Westwood has lobbied heavily for his release and uses her media attention whenever possible to spotlight his struggle. After Vivian confusingly suggests Leonard Peltier could maybe get out on his own if he just said that he'd done it. Really? Is she really saying that? Am I totally hearing things wrong? Vivian then admits that she does not know who Beth is, but she is impressed by how informed she is about the plight of Leonard Peltier. I'm a lesbian, Beth says. We know about these things. Thanks.